Hello everyone and welcome to today's Spanish language lift, sorry, couldn't get my words out there, start again, Spanish language lift presentation on technology in everyday life. My name is Stacey and I'm one of the Schools and Colleges Liaison Assistants at the university, and today I'm joined by Dr. Nicola Astudillo-Jones, who will be running today's language lift presentation. Would you like to say hello, Nicola?
Hi everyone.
And we'll see Nicola shortly. I'm also joined by my colleague Helen, who will be moderating any questions as they come in. Would you like to say hello, Helen?
Hi everybody, looking forward to your questions.
Brilliant. So I'll be shortly handing over to Nicola for the presentation, but during the presentation you will be given the opportunity to ask questions and get involved in activities via the chat function on the right hand side of the screen. Your audio and video won't be shared, but any questions, answers that you do post can be done so anonymously if you wish. You just have to make sure that you click that you wish to be anonymous so your name doesn't appear. You can like other questions that people may have asked just to indicate your interest, and the more likes there are, the more likely it is that we'll put that question to Nicola. Helen will collate any questions and ask Nicola those at the end of the session. Okay, I think we're ready to start, so I'll now hand you over to Nicola.
Okay, thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Nicola. I am one of the lecturers in the Spanish department here at the University of Chester. So today's session is technology in everyday life. So this is one of the themes from the GCSE syllabus. So the purpose of today's session is to go over some key vocabulary that might arise to do with this topic. We'll also be looking at classic for and against arguments in terms of the advantages and disadvantages of technology in general, and particularly social media. And then at the end, I'd like to think about how we might express our opinions about this topic. Okay, what kinds of phrases we might use to do that. So to begin with, let's do a bit of revision in terms of key vocabulary. Okay, so this is an interactive bit. So I'll go through each question individually, and what I would like you to do is choose which is the correct option for each of the following. Okay, so if you put your answers in the chat, Helen will be able to tell me the answers that are coming through. So the first one, if we want to talk about an app, okay, what is the correct Spanish? Is it un aplicación or una aplicación? So A or B, what do you think? What's the correct answer?
Don't be shy everyone, you can pop it in the chat when you're ready.
So is the word masculine or is it feminine? 50-50 chance.
Yeah, we've got some answers coming in. We have a couple of B's and an A, mostly B's.
Okay, so the correct answer is B. Okay, it is una aplicación. Okay, a lot of words that end in N in Spanish tend to be feminine. Okay, and this is important. So if, for example, even in its short form, so we can obviously say una aplicación, but even if we want to talk about an app, we still have to get the correct gender. So it would still be una app. Okay, similar to other words in Spanish like televisión is la televisión, the short form, la tele. Okay, it works the same way. La fotografía, the short one is la foto. Okay, so it's the same thing. So una aplicación or una app. What about, so the verb descargar means to download, okay? But let's think about our conjugations. We might need to say in past tense, I downloaded. Now, what's the correct answer here? Is it A, B, or C? Descargué, descargue, or descargué? There's some spelling differences there. So what do you think? Is it A, B, or C that I downloaded?
Hopefully they'll be coming through soon. So A, B or C. Okay, we've got a couple of A's. Let's see what else comes through.
A seems to be the most popular so far.
Yeah.
Haha. Now, the correct answer is actually C. And I did this on purpose because descargar is an irregular verb, okay? So you've all remembered that AR verbs go to E with an accent in the past simple, which is great. But you have to remember to be careful with those verbs that are irregular, okay? So descarguer actually has a little stem change and it goes to G-U-E with an accent. So just be careful with that one. What about this one? ¿Cómo se dice social networks or social media en español? We have 4 options here. So is it los redes social, los redes sociales, las redes social, or las redes sociales? So there's a couple of things going on here. We're talking about the gender of the noun and also singular plural. So which is the correct answer? We're talking about social networks.
Right, first answers come through. A B, another B. It's looking popular. D, we've had a D, but mostly B's, I'd say.
Okay.
Oh, no, a C, we've had a C, sorry, yeah.
Okay. Well, most people either went for B or D then. So I'm pleased to see you've remembered about agreements. So everything has to agree in Spanish. So if we're talking about redes, it has to be sociales. Okay, everything has to agree. Now, is red, is it masculine or feminine? And the answer, it's feminine. Okay, so the people that said D, very well done. So red is the word for network, it's feminine. So la red, okay? So las redes sociales. So in terms of this theme, technology in everyday life, social media, social networks might be vocabulary that comes up, okay? So it is feminine. Las redes sociales, okay? So remember it's feminine, but also plural, and everything must agree. Couple more. What about this one? So you've got 2 groups of adjectives here. Which group of adjectives is positive and which is negative? So what you can do in the chat is you can maybe put left and right. So is left the positive one or is left the negative one? Yeah. So we have adictivo, caro, complicado, inútil, peligroso on the left. And we have conveniente, divertido, interactivo, práctico, útil on the right. So which group are positive adjectives, positive descriptions, which are negative descriptions?
Just got some answers coming through. So we've got group B, the group to the right, right is positive. Someone said left is negative.
Okay.
Let's see if there's more. Right, another one, the group on the right. And right is positive. Okay,
good, excelente. So the group on the right is positive, okay? So this was checking your vocab, so well done. So convenient, fun, interactive, practical, useful, these are all positive adjectives. Whereas on the right, addictive, expensive, complicated, useless or not useful, and dangerous, they're all negative adjectives. Muy bien. And then finally, I've got a group of words here. So, ¿qué significan estas palabras? So let's go very quickly through each one. So, arroba. Now, for this one, you can just put the symbol, let's say, in the chat. What is the symbol? Arroba, what's that? What's the symbol?
That might be a tricky one. Let's wait to see if something comes in.
It's a certain symbol that we use a lot in email addresses and the name of that symbol is arroba. Arroba, the clue. Used all the time in email addresses.
Sorry, Nicola, would it be possible, someone's asked just if you could repeat that question?
Oh, sorry, of course. So the word arroba, if somebody's giving you an email address and they go blah, 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 arroba hotmail.com. What's the arroba?
Brilliant.
What is that referring to?
Just got the answers coming through, and a couple of people have put the at sign.
Muy bien, yes. So if you're doing a listening exercise, for example, and somebody's spelling out an email address and they go arroba, it's the at sign, okay? So don't get confused. The arroba is how in Spanish you say the at sign, at. ¿Qué es una contraseña? What is a contraseña? This is a thing that we use all the time for security purposes. What is a contraseña?
Looks like this might be some new vocab here, Nicola.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad. These are key words that might come up around this topic. So that's absolutely fine. If you don't know, excellent. I'm glad we're seeing new vocab. Because this, like I say, this is...
Sorry, a couple of people have said password. Someone said contract.
It's a password. Muy bien. Mm-hmm. So good. So you see, this is not difficult. Elevated vocabulary. This is key vocab that might come up, okay? So yeah, if somebody refers to a contraseña, they mean a password, okay? That's, if you need to keep yourself safe online, you need to crear una contraseña, create a password, okay? What about the verb guardar? Okay, guardar. You're doing some work, you might need to guardarlo.
It's great. We've got an answer that's come through. Somebody's put to save or keep. We've also got to look out for, or guard.
Okay, guard is, you're using your common sense there. So in a way, that's kind of where it comes from. But the first answer was the correct one, like to keep or to save. So again, if we're thinking of technology and you want to guardar un documento, save a document, that's the verb, okay, guardar. So yeah, I like the idea of guard, it kind of is the same idea, isn't it, to keep it safe. So yeah. And then finally, the last word I have, now this might be a word you're not familiar with, but it is on the syllabus that you should be familiar with this word, hence why I've chosen it. And it is el internauta. And I'll give you a synonym, so I'll give you a word that means exactly the same. You can say usuario. So if you're doing a listening or a reading and you come across the word internauta or usuario, what does that word mean? Who are they talking about?
Brilliant. We've got some answers coming through. We have internet user.
Mm-hmm.
We've got interpret, a user, users.
Okay, good. Muy bien. Yes. So internauta, obviously the person that said internet is thinking along the right lines, okay? but internet is internet, okay? But internauta is an internet user. As I say, you can also say usuario, which means user in general, but internauta just specifies internet user. So yeah, again, it's on the syllabus, so it's just something that might come up in a reading or a listening, okay? But that's what it means. Okay, muy bien. So what I thought I'd do now that we've gone over some key vocab, what I thought we'd do is look at some of the topics that might come up around this theme of technology in everyday life. So particularly something about the advantages and disadvantages of technology and social media. So las ventajas y desventajas de la tecnología y las redes sociales, okay? So vamos a empezar, we're going to start with the ventajas, okay, the advantages. So perhaps if you're doing a reading or a listening, somebody might be giving their opinion about what they think about social media, okay, or about technology. And they might be saying good things about it. They might talk about communication, okay, the social media technology helps us to communicate. So what I've also provided you here with as well is, again, more key vocabulary that might come up. So communication in Spanish is la comunicación. You might hear things like, puedo comunicarme con mis amigos fácilmente. So I can communicate with my friends easily. Or puedo hablar, I can talk. Or puedo chatear, I can chat, okay, with my friends. Puedo enviar correos electrónicos, or puedo mandar correos electrónicos. So I can send emails. Remember, in Spanish, there are two words for to send, enviar and mandar, okay? They might talk about entertainment. So an advantage of social media technology is that it can be used for entertainment. The word in Spanish for entertainment is entretenimiento, okay? Entretenimiento. They might talk about las aplicaciones, okay? Apps, applications, okay? So what can you do with social media or technology? Puedo descargar, I can download mis canciones favoritas, my favorite songs. Puedo sacar fotos, I can take photos. Puedo publicar fotos, I can publish photos. They might talk about information in general, okay, that it provides information, la información. What else can you do with technology or social media? Leer las noticias, okay, you can read the news, for example. But they might also talk about the other side of the argument, you know, desventajas, disadvantages, okay? So somebody might say something like, los móviles son muy caros. Okay, mobiles are very expensive. Okay, that's a negative of social media, of technology, let's say. They might say something like, las redes sociales son muy adictivas. Okay, social media is very addictive. Okay, or social networks are very addictive. Okay, in terms of the theme of being addictive, pasar mucho tiempo en línea, okay? Spend a lot of time online, okay? Crean la adicción, okay? They create addiction, okay? They might talk about dependency, okay? We've become very dependent on technology in everyday life, haven't we? So in Spanish, dependency is la dependencia. They might talk about problemas de salud, health problems. An example of that, you know, might be los jóvenes no quieren estar al aire libre. So young people don't want to be outside in the open air, okay? Or no quieren hacer deporte. They don't want to do sport, okay? All of these things kind of key vocab tied to this theme, okay? They might refer to cyberbullying, and the word for cyberbullying in Spanish is el ciberacoso. Cyber acoso. Okay, ciberacoso. You hear that? It means cyberbullying. And something else they might refer to, you know, giving their opinion why they don't like technology or something. They might talk about problemas de seguridad, so problems of security. Un ejemplo, an example, el robo de identidad. So identity theft. Okay, so robo, like stealing. So the theft of identity. Okay, el robo de identidad. So those are some advantages and disadvantages that might come up. You might hear them if you're doing a listening, or you might read it in a text. Opinions about this topic. And to finish off then, in terms of our opinion, how we argue our opinion or give our opinion, the final thing I'd like you to do, this is again going to be a little bit interactive, can you put some suggestions in the chat of how you give your opinion about something? So if you wanted to give your opinion on, let's say I asked you, what do you think of social media? How would you start? So you don't have to give me your opinion. What I want is the introductory phrase. So how would you start the sentence? For example, I think that, or in my opinion, or it seems to me that, or I agree. How would you say I agree? I don't agree. So just put a few ideas in the chat and Helen will read them out to me, and let's just see what kind of ideas we can get.
So we've got en mi opinión.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Personalmente.
Good. Yeah.
Pienso que.
Good. Excelente.
That's it for now. We have had a question about where we can find the slides, Nicola, but we can come back to that later on.
Yeah. Okay.
Prefiero.
Okay, good. Yes, prefiero.
Yeah, and a couple of repeats of things that we've said already. So yeah.
Yeah, no, muy bien, excelente. Yeah, so lots of different ideas there of how we can give our opinion. So yeah, creo que, pienso que, mean I think that. Prefiero, I prefer. Yeah. En mi opinión, in my opinion. Yeah, muy bien. Personalmente, I like that. I don't think I noted that down, but that's a good one. So personally, yeah, excellent. So I've just grouped together here some ideas that I had. So I had creo que, I had pienso que. You can also say opino que, which is a bit fancier. But it means the same thing, like I think that. It's another verb you could use to vary your vocabulary. En mi opinión, I have that. So if we want to say I agree, like, you know, with technology, for example, so estoy de acuerdo is I agree. Or if you want to say I don't agree, you just put no at the front. So no estoy de acuerdo. If you want to say you're in favor, so for or against, so estoy a favor de, I'm in favor of, or estoy en contra de, I'm against. So estoy en contra de las redes sociales, I'm against social media. Porque, because, and then whatever your reason is. Odio, okay, if you want to be really strong, like I hate, okay, odio. Prefiero, okay, so I prefer. Me parece que, you could use that, so it seems to me that, me parece que. And then finally, again, a little bit of a fancier one, a mi modo de ver. Now, really, a mi modo de ver is just another way of saying en mi opinión. Or you could translate it as I see it, which is a little bit fancier if you want to change your vocabulary. So yeah, en mi opinión, a mi modo de ver. Same kind of thing, really, same translation.
We have had that in the chat, actually, Nicola, just as you were talking.
Oh, excellent.
So
good, that's good. I'm glad you're familiar with these different ways of expressing your opinion. Excellent, muy bien. Okay, so that brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope it's been useful. I hope we've revised some key vocabulary. We've looked at for and against arguments that might come up in a listening exam or a reading exam. And we've thought about how we might express our own opinions about this topic. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, I am happy to answer. You said you had one about the slides, Helen.
Yes, just one of the students has asked, where can we find these slides?
So obviously the recording itself will be online, won't it? So you could always watch the video again. But I can always email you the presentation, Helen, and you can make it available online.
Okay, brilliant. That's great. Thanks very much, Nicola.
Yep.
And we've had a couple of thank yous as well.
Oh, dinner.
We'll just leave it another minute or so, if that's okay, Nicola, in case anybody's typing questions and things.
Yeah, if it can be about today's topic, or if you have any questions about university in general, Spanish at university, I'm happy to answer them as well.
Did you study just Spanish at university, or did you do a mixture of languages?
I started doing Spanish and Russian.
Oh, wow.
So I did Spanish A-level, so I carried that on post A-level, and then I started doing Russian from beginners, but I didn't really like it. So I actually swapped halfway through to do just Spanish. So it's always good to know that whatever you start doing at the beginning of your course, if you really don't like it, like I didn't like the Russian, you can change. And I changed to do just Spanish.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we've had lots of gracias in the chat, and a few adios as well. Do you think it's okay to choose languages that you've never done before at university?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the Russian, but I know many people that chose Spanish, for example, from beginners. And then by the time we got to the later years, we were in the same class. So yeah, if you have the interest in that language and you put the work in, yes, by all means, you can start from beginners and get to the level of post A-level. So if you wanted to do French, for example, if you already do Spanish and wanted to start French, or you wanted to start German, absolutely fine. Yeah, it can be done.
I suppose the building blocks of language, particularly European languages, are similar. So they sort of, you can not flip between them, but you have an understanding that you can apply elsewhere.
Yeah, I think once you've learned one language and you've got into the habit of what that involves, you're prepared for others. So even, let's say, Spanish and German are very different because German obviously has cases, which Spanish doesn't. But I think once you've got into the habit of learning a language and you have to practice at home, you have to listen, you have to watch films, that kind of thing, I think that sets you up to learn any language, no matter the intricacies. Yeah.
Absolutely, and what a brilliant skill it is.
I agree.
I really wish I'd kept up my languages. I'm going to have to come to more of these sessions, Nicola.
Many people say that. You're not the first, Helen. Many people say that. I wish I'd kept up with my languages, because it is, especially in this country, and because English is such a world language, if you do have a language under your belt, you are in demand, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we've reached the end of today's session then, Nicola, if that's all right. Thank you very much. Thank you also, everybody, for all of the questions. I'm going to pop some details in the chat for you so you can look at the website and have a little look more at the Modern Foreign Languages Department. And we hope to see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.